You're leading, you're building, you're doing the thing that you said you were going to do. You're taking the steps that you said you were going to take, but all of a sudden the results are not matching my effort on the inside. That's how I used to feel like, what's the use? I'm putting all this work in, I'm putting all this time in, but my effort is not matching up with the results. You start asking, did I miss it? Did I miss you? Then you start questioning your own self. You're like, am I ready? Maybe I'm not ready. Then you start asking yourself, maybe this isn't meant to happen at all. Let's name what's happening. Sometimes you're not behind, you're in a divine pause. Welcome. Hello, I'm Sybil Bull, your host for Faith Based Optimum Living, where we dive into transformative content about emotional wellness, purpose-driven living, and a meaningful life. I cannot wait to share with you today. We've been talking about the theme or the focus for this season on vision. And if you have not watched the other episodes, I want to encourage you to go back and watch them. They are going to help you confirm some things, give you some tools. And I also have been sharing some downloads, just some things that you can use for your own life, just to be able to answer some things and some prompts for when you are thinking through my own vision and what does that look like. So I want to encourage you to go back and watch the episodes. And if this is your first time being here with us, thank you so much for being here and welcome. I'm just delighted to have you here with us on the Optimum Living podcast. We're going to dive into, this is actually going to be a really good conversation that we're going to talk about. And I know for some of you, you're going to feel like you really received an answer or two or three. And we're going to talk about how vision moves, but then there's vision. What do we do when our vision feels stuck? Why screaming? Why is this vision feel stuck, right? When you're doing all the work, but you're not seeing no movement, you're likely facing more than a delay, right? More than a delay, you're encountering some form of resistance. It's like, in everything that we're doing, I just don't know what's going on. And so while we're talking about vision, it could be a place of, I don't like to use the word stuck, but sometimes that's exactly how it feels. It feels like we're doing it, but it won't move forward. And we've been talking about what it looks like to, get the directives and go from being a dreamer to moving in the direction in which the vision's supposed to go. But in all honesty, there are moments where a vision can feel like, it's not moving. It can feel like you have this clear pathway that you want to take. You're excited because you know where you want to go. You've been taking the steps, right? Some of us have experienced that. This thing is real, but when it's slow, when it starts feeling like it's not moving, or it feels what we like to say a little stagnant, like you're looking on the outside of everyone else's vision, all of their plans aligning, things are coming into place, and you're just like, wait a minute, what's happening with mine? This is when you can actually experience what we will say, some doubt starts kind of lingering, creeping in, other voices that we will hear negative, paraphrasing things in a negative way or thinking, what am I doing wrong? You've already planned, right? You've already prayed. You've already prepared. I'm speaking to you. You're the person today that I'm speaking to. You're not the one that doesn't understand the vision. You're not the one who's on the sideline just dreaming. You're the person who's like, I've been working this and doing this and I feel so frustrated. I'm talking to you. You've stepped out and you still feel like it's stuck. It's not growing. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. Really talking about what it looks like, not when it's stuck, but when it's stalled, when the vision in itself is bringing about frustration. You're starting to feel like this tension because what's been revealed is not actually looking on what has been realized, right? What's been revealed is not really looking like what's been realized. And we have to talk about how it often just creates a lot of emotions in us. But I want to keep you activated in the space where you keep cultivating and doing what you're supposed to do without quitting. So we have experience, right? The block that's not just external, but sometimes we have internal things that we're resisting. We all can be honest with ourselves that we have some internal resistance. That's fear that may be showing up. Sometimes over control, right? That person who wants to control a lot of things. I've been there and I'm like, because a part of my fear is, how can I control this area? How can I do that? Or maybe I'm just putting this pressure on myself to make sure that it's right and make sure that it's perfect. Maybe that's what you're doing. But here's the thing that you want to learn. And I want to encourage you. We've been saying this for the last couple of episodes, that delay is not denial. And you might have to write that down. You might have to speak to yourself about it. You might have to remind yourself that the delay is not a denial. Sometimes the delay is really about development. I'm giving you a nugget right there. Sometimes the delay is about development. The development is so important in the time of delay. And I know you don't want to hear that. You want it to happen. And you can't miss out on the development that takes place when we're talking about vision. The visionary, the person in the vision, still needs development. And as you are moving forward, that is important. I have a question that I want you to think about. What part of your vision feels stuck right now? It may not be everyone, but it might be someone or a couple hundred of you, right? You might be feeling like there's a part of your vision feeling stuck. And how are you interpreting that stuckness? Is it resistance? Is it fear? Or do you feel like God is reshaping and shaping you for the vision? Those are some things that I want you to think about. And what's happening, what's really taking place in my life. Let's talk about when vision isn't moving. You're showing up. They told me to go network. I'm doing it. I'm out here networking. I'm calling people. I'm sharing. I'm posting. I'm doing the most and being the most. I feel good about it. I've already given myself a hand clap. I've celebrated my wins. You're leading, you're building, you're doing the thing that you said you were going to do. You're taking the steps that you said you were going to take. But all of a sudden, the results are not matching my effort on the inside. That's how I used to feel like, what's the use? I'm putting all this work in, I'm putting all this time in, but my effort is not matching up with the results. And that can feel a little bit disorienting, right? It can really feel like that. And I'm not minimizing it because I've definitely experienced it more time than I care to talk about. You start asking, did I miss it? You start asking God, did I miss it? Did I miss you? Then you start questioning your own self. You're like, am I ready? Maybe I'm not ready. Then you start asking yourself, maybe this isn't meant to happen at all. It's not for me. This is too hard. It's not happening. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to, and it's not coming to pass. Let's name what's happening. Let me help you out. Sometimes you're not behind, you're in a divine pause. I know you did not want me to say that, but I did. I did say it. Sometimes you're in a divine pause. If you ever read books and study people who are successful, they've had these divine pauses. They've had things where you can feel like you've been behind. We did this, we did that, and it didn't happen. And we put everything in, and we got the team, and we did the business plan. We talked to the bankers. We did all this stuff, right? And sometimes it becomes a divine pause. A divine pause is not a negative. Other times, this is what's happening. It's internal resistance, making itself an over preparation or over control, right? So you heard that you needed some systems. Now you spent the last so many times just building out systems. You're just overdoing it. You want it to be so right. And you're trying to make sure that you can control every avenue of the business and the vision and what you're doing. Or maybe you've just allowed perfectionism to paralyze your momentum. It's not right. It's not there where I want it to be. Oh my God. And that's perfectionism, always trying to reach something that is unobtainable, right? And so that could also be, I'm not saying all of these things are yours, but some of them, one maybe, could be a reason why the vision is being stuck. Let's remind ourselves, Habakkuk 2:3 says, though the vision in itself will linger, we have to wait for it. There is a waiting. When we talked about the pause, there is a waiting when it comes to vision. It will certainly come to pass and it will not be delayed. There is a waiting. We're going to do all that we can do, right? We can build, we can take the steps, we can do the startup, but there is a moment where all that we still have a wait. Exhale. There's a wait. Oh, I'm tired of waiting. I hear you. but you still have to allow the development and the wait to take place. You cannot rush what's already divinely been set. You really just want to use the time the best way that you can. Is the silence around your vision making you question the assignment or helping you sharpen it? This is what you want to ask yourself. There's so much silence, meaning I don't see enough. There's not enough happening. I'm posting, I'm doing this, but there's not enough evidence for me to prove that this is really what I'm supposed to do. Are you allowing it to sharpen you, or are you allowing it to question you where you stop doing what you're supposed to do? That's the question. Let's talk about what could be stopping you, right? Let's get into it a little bit. Let's get real close and let's get real transparent and vulnerable with each other. Let's do this. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. What feels like a delay might be: 1, fear of failing in public. Have you ever thought about that? Most of us don't want to look like a failure in public. Or if people said to you, you shouldn't have done that, or if your family wasn't supporting you, or more people were judging and negative, you might be feeling like you don't want to publicly fail. That could be a reason behind why the vision feels stuck and you are compulsively and obsessively trying to make it everything because you want to prove like, I don't want to fail, I don't want to fail. Or maybe, here's the other thing, perfectionism. That's disguised as stewardship. I just want it to be right. I just want everything to flow. I just want it to look good. I want to make sure when I do it, everything is everything, all connected. And you're saying it's stewardship, but it's perfectionism. Here's another one. We're being honest, remember. Don't back away from this transparent moment that we're sharing. Resistance, that's spiritual, emotional, or mental. Maybe you've hit a place of resistance, right? I taught about this and I've lived it. Sometimes the resistance is coming from what I call, personally, in my opinion, a limited belief. A limited belief. Maybe you're believing that you need more education, certification. Maybe you're believing this or believing that, right? Whatever it could be, that resistance could be emotional, mental, or spiritual. Delays do have a purpose. Oh, did you hear me? I said delays do have a purpose. What's the purpose? Here, I'm about to tell you. And I want you to write this down and I want you to go back and watch this part. Delays have a purpose. What is it? They grow you in patience, maturity, your depth of character, and vision endurance. I'm going to say that again. Delays have a purpose. Here's the purpose: to grow you in patience, maturity, your depth of character, and vision endurance. Some people are skilled and talented, but their character is not quite where it needs to be. And so sometimes delays is about character building, right? I've had my character built a lot of times. Yes. I've had to have patience. I thought I had some patience. How many of us said, I'm a very patient person until there's a delay, until something is not going in the way, in the plan or how you thought it was going to go, right? But resistance often tries to hijack your process. Resistance tries to hijack your process, right? And it's making you second guess. We all can say when we're moving in our vision, this is for the people who are moving in their vision. This is the person who's done everything they believe they need to do. But there's this resistance, there's this belief, there's this mindset, there's this emotional space in me, there's this mental experience that I'm having or spiritual things that I'm having. I'm hearing people's voices. It's going to start making me second guess. Like, am I supposed to really be doing this? Is this really my call? Is this really my assignment? Did I miss it? Am I trying to do something that I'm not qualified to do? Am I trying to do something that is just, it was my mind. I made this up, right? It starts making you second guess. When you start second guess, then you start overworking to prove your worth, or you try to stall out. You're like, deuces, I'm out. This is not for me. Y'all can have it, right? And that's not how it works. And so we want to make sure that we are paying attention to what's internally or externally happening why I'm doing everything, but then the vision is still stuck or stalled. And remember, I said there's a purpose for that delay. It might look like endless tweaking of your brand or a program before you launch it. You're tweaking the brand, tweak the brand, tweak the brand, tweak. Or maybe the product is not ready. Not going to launch it yet. Not going to launch it. I'm going to do this, going to do that, right? It could also be like you're avoiding collaboration. This is what it looks like because your fear of losing control, having someone else's voice in there, having someone else say something. So you don't want to have collaboration. In your personal life, it could show up as reluctance to take the next step 100%, right? I'm 100%. I'm jumping into the deep of the deep. It could also be refusing to rest because you're equating results with worth. So I have to know that I've done everything, right? In my personal space, I've done all that I'm supposed to. And you know what? I'm just going to let everything pan out. I'm just going to rest because I don't want to tie my worth to my work. I don't want to do that. God doesn't waste the waiting. I want you to hear me. God doesn't waste the waiting. So if you're in the waiting because you feel like it's stuck in that vision, God is not wasting it. The pause is often the place where clarity, courage, and calling are refined. Let's just pause right there. Some refinement going on. All right. Let's talk about what it looks like in our reflection. Let's just take a moment to reflect. Let's reflect. What is God forming in you during the pause? What does he want to happen in you during the pause that you didn't know you needed? And what resistance do you need to release? You are good enough. You are enough. You have the capacity to do it, right? I just want to encourage you. That may be some resistance you need to release because you have a mindset about yourself. Maybe you're seeing yourself a certain way. When I was younger, I used to say it was my age. I would say, who's going to listen to me? I used to say that so much. And I was doing things, but I would say in my leadership space, in my business space, I was like, I'm so young. Is people going to respect me? Are they going to listen to me? Yada, yada. And so sometimes we have those things inside of us. And that resistance, I needed to release it. And it took a moment because first I had to be honest to identify that's what I was thinking to myself. And second, the resistance can sometimes, again, hide itself as if I'm stewarding it. And I wasn't stewarding it. I was really just afraid of the rejection or afraid that someone wasn't going to respect me because I was dealing with my own worth and my own value. And so those are some of the things that I had to release to God. And I'm encouraging you to do the same. When leading through the pause, how does it look when you're leading through the pause, y'all? When the vision is not moving. It's not moving. But still people are looking to you because they think that you're doing good and they think that you have the answer. Remember, you showed up as the problem solver. You came as the solution and people are still looking to you. What do you do now? How do you lead while you're waiting? That is such a good question that I didn't even ask, right? I was just so busy trying to get on the other side, but I had to ask the question, what do I do while I'm waiting? Because it's very important. And I'm here to help you so you don't have to do this on your own in the journey. While you're waiting, here's some things you can do. You can communicate with faith and not fear, right? You can say things like, I'm in preparation, not I'm falling behind. I'm behind, right? Tormenting yourself with that kind of thought. Faith shifts the atmosphere, right? So we can communicate with faith and not fear. I don't even know if this is ever going to happen. No, we don't want to just spaz out, right? We want to start speaking how it's coming together. It's working. I'm in preparation. I'm in development. Let's revisit exactly what the vision looks like, or for some of you, what God said. You may have to go back to whatever book, or if you did it online, where you wrote it, how you did it. And you have to go back and say, what is the plan? Because sometimes we forget because we get caught up in other things. What was the original assignment? And you have to strip away all the extras. And I definitely can relate to that. Sometimes this is what happens too in the vision, y'all. Why you have to revisit it is that sometimes people, when you're talking to other people about things, they get excited, right? So you're like, I'm going to create this product. And then this person, you tell them who you're developing the product for, and then they encourage you to develop something that's not a part of your assignment because people really would use that and they would do this. Or if you did that, that would be so great. You should think about this. That's not a part of the assignment. That's not the thing you're supposed to be doing. And now you're outside of the original thing, and you have to humble yourself enough to sit down and say, oh my God, I have added 10 extra things to my whole vision that was never supposed to be there. When I started Symphony Body Products, which is handcrafted skin products, people were like asking me for all this stuff that I wasn't making, and I didn't feel like this was a part of my business vision. They wanted to know, was I going to make lip gloss? No. Was I going to make products for the face? No. I didn't feel like that was a part of the vision. So you have to make sure that you're clear and start stripping away things. Just because people get hype, you don't have to get hype with them and start adding a whole lot of things that's not a part of what you're supposed to do. Number 3, choose excellence over applause. Clapping just because people are clapping. Choose excellence. What do you mean choose excellence? It's just keep doing the work. Maybe the applause is not as loud. Maybe it's not as many people. Keep doing excellence. Keep optimizing areas. Keep developing areas. Keep doing what you're supposed to do. Keep showing up in your private space for the public time, right? It does never a waste of time. It's refining you. It's helping you to stay what I like to say to myself personally is, Sybil, stay faithful, even though it doesn't look like you want it to look. Stay faithful. Stay faithful even if you don't feel like this is working out. Stay faithful, right? Keep doing what you need to do and keep showing up. Girl, are you showing up? Yes, these are the ways that I talk to myself. Why? Because I'm choosing the excellence over the applause, because the applause eventually do go down. And when they go down, they can affect you. So just keep going, keep doing the work. I see you. Keep doing the work. Keep doing the work. Here's some practical things you want to do this week. We want to write down 3 areas where you've grown internally during the stuck season, right? Because we can focus so much on the stuck season that we don't even see that we're growing. We don't even see that we're developing. We don't even see what's happening in our lives, like my mind renewal, my attitude is better, the gratitude is flowing, I've got a plan, I've actually revisited some things, I am clearing my vision, I understand what's not supposed to be there. Like, I want you to just see how you're growing. And then I want you to write down 3 lies, like identify 3 lies of resistance that tries to feed you. 3 lies. One could be that I'm not good enough. One could be I'm not educated enough. One could be like no one wants to hear me. So those are all lies, right? They're resisting. They're going against the vision. And then here's a small thing to do. You can write a prayer of commitment. Recommit yourself to the original vision. So I recommit myself to ... whatever it could be. I recommit to that. I was about to quit. I was about to be done. I was about to be out. But now I am about to show back up and do what I'm supposed to do. Waiting doesn't mean weakness. Let me say that again. Waiting doesn't mean weakness. It takes strength to hold your ground when vision slows down, but purpose still stands. Waiting doesn't mean you're weak, all right? It takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of strength and determination to hold your ground when your vision slows, but purpose never changes. Purpose never changes. Purpose is standing still, right? And knowing that you know that this is what I'm supposed to do. This is how it's supposed to be. Where is faithfulness in your success story right now? Where is it? Where is it at? Even if the results aren't, visible, there's still something successful happening right now because you've been faithful. The vision looks like it's stuck, but you've been faithful. So I want you to be able to identify that there's something good and successful happening, even if the results, we all have our check marks of things that we want to reach. And even if the results aren't visible, something is really happening. So I want to encourage you for that. Listen here. Listen. Stuck doesn't mean finished. Doesn't mean this is the end of the road. Stuck doesn't mean that. Delay, again, doesn't mean denial. Stillness doesn't mean nothing's happening. Don't let resistance talk you out of a vision God hasn't canceled. Don't let fear whisper over your forward motion. And don't let perfectionism freeze your faith. You are still called. You are still chosen. The vision still stands. I'm saying this for the one person who came on here and needed to hear, or you were watching and you needed to see my mouth speaking to you. This week, I want you to get, a journal prompt. Here you go. Just write down what your vision, your goal, or your idea has been that you've put the effort in. And then ask yourself, what might be causing the delay? External timing, internal fear, or something I need to release or realign? Those are just really good questions. I am a question person in life by nature. I'm very curious, so I like to ask a lot of questions. That's why I give it to you, so that you can ask the right question. Now, you can ask a lot of questions, but you want to ask the right questions so you can get the answer. And then I want you to recommit to the vision with peace, not pressure. I want you to do that. Recommit to your vision with peace and not pressure. I gotta make this happen. Just peace. It will happen in the time, and I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. All right, I told you that you were going to get some answers. I told you that you were going to get some clarity. For those of you who've been doing everything and I know you were about to quit, you're about to be done, but this is not a done moment. All right. If you've been feeling frustrated, I hope in this moment you feel a little bit of hope, a little bit of encouragement that your journey, although it may not look exactly like you want it to look in the vision, that I've given you some actionable steps that you can take. Someone else might need to hear this. So make sure that you share it out. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you actually heard for yourself, which would be really, really good. And I care about your journey so much that I have created a free download. It's just a simple vision in delay worksheet, something that you can just work on for yourself that helps you to process what's happening in your pause, to help you lead in a renewed clarity, right? Help you to keep going in the place of vision. I just want you to know that you're doing good and you're right where you need to be. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining me on Optimum Living Podcast. I'm Sybil Bull, helping you grow, live fully, and unlock the life you were created to enjoy. As you move forward, keep your heart clear, your vision sharp, and your steps rooted in what truly matters. Stay grounded, stay grateful, and remember, you are designed to live an optimum life. I'll see you next time.